Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Chris Piche. Chris Piche is a computer scientist and technology entrepreneur. Born and raised in Canada, he is an expert in distributed networking, scalable video, and computer vision technologies. Chris has developed technologies and products including AT&T TV, BlackBerry Video, Polycom Video, and Stun Turn Ice. He has also been awarded Best of Internet World, Canada's Top Young Leader, and Top 40 Under 40. Chris is now the founder and CEO of Smarter AI, the leader in AI cameras and enablement software. Well, good afternoon, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Brian.
Absolutely. Love doing this. It's been about a year now, but I appreciate you jumping back on, making the time. And again, I know you're a globetrotter. You travel the world and you're hailing out of Dubai today, but I, again, appreciate you making the time with the time zone changes. So Chris, jumping into your first question, as the founder of Smarter AI, what inspired you to start the company? And what do you see as the biggest opportunities and challenges in the AI camera and enablement software market?
Well, I was inspired to start the company because, I saw an opportunity similar to the opportunity in smartphones about 10 years earlier. So if you go back about maybe 12 years ago now, we were all walking around with our Nokia, Ericsson, Motorola, BlackBerry phones. And thanks to a couple of enabling technologies, 3G networks and low-powered touch screens, it became possible or feasible to make smartphones. And of course, Apple was the first company to figure out the product market fit. And smartphones have now completely transformed our lives. And I think mostly for the good. And so about 4 or 5 years ago, I started to see cameras in a similar way. There are, millions of legacy cameras around the world, all recording video on discs and displaying the video on screens, but a lot of valuable data in there. But mostly that data wasn't being looked at. And I saw that there were a couple of enabling technologies on the horizon. So edge AI chips and high-speed 5G wireless networks. And I thought that in the same way that a couple of technologies had made smartphones possible, that these technologies would make AI cameras possible. And I thought in the same way that Apple developed iOS and the App Store and figured out the product market fit through their software platform, I thought that the same thing was going to happen in the camera market. So basically, I set out to build the iOS and the App Store of AI cameras.
Love that. And Chris, we talked about this before, but you've always had a vision of kind of what's next. And you've jumped in and, like you said, you've kind of made that big bet on this, and you certainly have done well with that. So I appreciate the backstory on that. And Chris, with the rapid advancement of AI and machine learning, how do you foresee their integration with scalable video and computer vision technologies impacting various industries?
Well, I'm gonna focus on the industry that that Smarter AI is focused on, which is transportation. And I think we're gonna see 3 big changes in transportation as a result of machine learning and cameras and video. So the first one that we've already started to see a little bit is autonomous driving, so self-driving cars. The second that we're going to see is a huge increase in transportation safety. So, a lot of the audience may not know this, Brian, but distracted or complacent driving, such as texting and driving, is now responsible for killing more people than even drunk driving. It's a huge problem, and it's growing all the time. But thanks to cameras and computer vision, we're able to put safety systems in place to remind drivers or coach drivers to put the phone down. So that, along with other driver coaching technologies, is starting to rapidly increase transportation safety, and not only for you and I as drivers, but for everyone as road users. And thirdly, and this is thinking a couple of steps ahead, once we have enough deployment of autonomous driving and driving safety technologies, one of the extra benefits that we're going to get for free as a result of those two things is the elimination of congestion. So no more traffic jams. And obviously that's going to have the biggest impact or the biggest benefit on the biggest cities, whether it's Los Angeles or Mexico City or even in Dubai, where I am today, the traffic is starting to get pretty bad.
That's just amazing seeing how machines can enable better safety, less congestion, all the above. It's amazing. And I'm glad you highlighted that texting, because people, and I see this just with even the newer vehicles that we have that have some of that, the assisted driving, where the brake light comes on or something automatically. I just see people getting more and more lax about their safety because they feel like, well, I'm in a vehicle that's now telling me it's going to help me out, right? And I think people lean on that too heavily. So I can't wait till we get to that perfect place where we can reduce the number of safety accidents down to zero. It'll be a while, but I do appreciate your insights on that. And Chris, in your opinion, why is autonomous driving 10 times safer than human drivers? And what is the industry doing to restore the public's trust in autonomous driving?
So we have a lot. We actually have some very good data to support that, Brian. So the NHTSA, the National Highway Transportation Safety Association, has been tracking and publishing for years, even for decades, the frequency of crashes on American roads. And it's been very consistent. It's always around one crash for every 500,000 miles driven. And I think if you do the math, you can work it out that every person on average will be involved in 2 or 3 crashes during the course of their lifetime. Tesla, of course, in conjunction with their full self-driving and their Tesla insurance program, have been publishing similar crash rate statistics across their entire fleet of vehicles, but also across the subset of their vehicles that are equipped with full self-driving. And they published the most recent update 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I think they were down to one crash about every 7 million miles. So, running the numbers, Tesla equipped with full self-driving is about 14 times less likely to be involved in an accident than an average American vehicle.
Thank you. That's some amazing statistics. And I know there's a lot of leaders out there in this industry like Tesla that are really striving to make driving much more safer, at the same time being a little bit more autonomous, which I know gives some people some pause, but I really think that is important to people start to learning more about it and adapting to the changes that are coming. So I appreciate that. And Chris, the last question of the day for you here, what are your long-term goals for smarter AI, and how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve in such a fast-paced and competitive industry?
Yep. So a couple of things. Number one, our long-term goals are to eliminate transportation fatalities and transportation injuries. And how we're going to get there is, taking the data that we collect from our cameras today and feeding that back into our machine learning or computer vision models. We're continuously retraining those models. And over time, as our camera deployment grows and as the precision of our models grow, we're able to do a better and better job of discouraging or eliminating unsafe driving habits like texting, like tailgate, et cetera.
Thank you. I'm glad that we kind of focused on the safety of autonomous driving, safety of humans and machines on the roads today. I think safety is a big part of that. And I'm glad that kind of the focus of the podcast was on that today. So I appreciate that, Chris. And Chris, it was such a pleasure having you on again, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thanks for having me again, Brian.
Bye for now.